Hi everyone, and welcome to another Teaching Tip Tuesday. Today I would like to talk with you about creating your ideal distance learning plan and what to do when stress and frustration creep in and try to wreck those plans. Now, if you're like me, your whole family is in one space during this time of quarantine, trying to work, trying to do schoolwork, and navigating that all at the same time can be really tricky. So I want to share a few tips with you that I hope will help. Now, the first, although small and may sound a little silly, really can make a huge difference. And that is to think about how your kids wake up in the morning. Now, some might be jumping out of bed, eager, almost anxious to get their work started. Others, not so much. Some wake up happy, some wake up grumpy, maybe even irritable since things are so different right now. And so you want to provide some space in your daily schedule and routine in the morning for everyone to get on the same page. And that might take different things. So for some, it might be getting up and getting dressed and their teeth brushed right away. For others, it might be having a little bit of lounge time where they read a devotion or they watch a little bit of TV. But in order to get everyone to a common point of productivity, you may even have to do some planning and preparation up front. Now, what I mean by that is that you want to try to think ahead and plan for each day going forward. So for me, each night, I sit down and I think about several things for the next day. Things like, what meals will we have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? Do all of my kids have all of their materials printed out, the things that they might need for their distance learning? Are their laptops charged? Do they have all of the necessary items that they'll need to be successful to complete their schoolwork? And so on and so forth. And so I try to be as prepared as possible up front. I make sure that our schedule and routine for each day is in writing and is posted and is visible for everyone. And so I do a lot of that upfront work. Now I engage my kids in that work with me. So they help to print out their materials. They're younger, so they need a little more hand-holding than some kids might. But I walk them through all of that with me. And so we try to do a lot of that planning upfront so that our ideal distance learning day can go more smoothly. Oftentimes, when you have planned and you have prepared, there's less room for frustration to creep in. Now, that doesn't mean it won't happen. And so if things do become stressful or overwhelming, you need to have a plan in place for that as well. So there are a few things I'll share that my family does when we're trying to get through our distance learning day and something gets in the way and causes us a roadblock. So one thing that we use is a sensory path. And so this is a great way for people, students, anyone really, to reset their brain when they're experiencing some anxiety or some frustration or something that might be causing them a little bit of a struggle. Our sensory path is in our basement. And so I've actually included a video of my son going through our sensory path right after he's had a moment of some technical difficulties on his Chromebook and really feeling anxious and not too excited about going on and finishing the rest of his school day. So I encourage you to take a look at that. It's very simple. It's just made out of tape on the floor and on the wall. Another way that we sometimes just take a break as a family, if our plans aren't going the way we thought they would, we sometimes take a break and we just play a card game. Now, it's not a regular card game, but it is with a regular deck of cards. And so we take out the king, the queen, aces, anything that isn't a number card. And so let's say that work is becoming stressful for me and the kids need my help and we're all feeling a little frustrated. We might take a break and pull out this card game. And so for each person that draws a certain number, they have to do a certain thing attached with that number. So for example, maybe I pull out a 3, and so I have to do 3 jumping jacks. And then someone else pulls out a 5, and so they have to do 5 silly movements. And so we create what each number will stand for ahead of time. And we plan ahead for those stressful or frustrating moments. So we know that we have a couple of strategies to get us back on track and back to our ideal learning day, our ideal plan for how things should go. So please check out our sensory path video that is also on our YouTube channel for school, for Perry Hall Christian School. And I encourage you to think through your ideal learning day with your children, and then plan for any moments that might come up that get in the way of those plans, and to have some things in place to help them get de-stressed and to reset their brains so that the whole family can get back on track and get that plan moving and accomplished. Thanks so much. I hope you find these tips helpful, and I will see you next Tuesday. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.